Since 1894, Allegheny Center Alliance Church has been a part of the Northside community. Today, thousands of people visit ACAC every week, some for services, others for children's programs, and still others for counseling sessions, small group Bible studies, or recreational opportunities. ACAC is known for its community involvement and has played a significant role in launching other local service organizations such as Urban Impact Foundation, the Northside Christian Health Center, the Women's Choice Network Clinic, and the Christian Counselors Collaborative. Today, ACAC is embarking on another project that promises to continue its legacy of service to the community, and that is what I am here to talk to you about in this presentation. Hello, my name is Pastor John Stanko, and it's been my privilege to be part of the ACAC family since 2001, also serving as a pastor here for 5 years. Today, I've been asked by ACAC's leadership to help in an effort that will ensure ACAC's continued presence and vibrant ministry on the North Side for yet another generation to come. I want to talk to you about the next steps for expanded influence next generation, or as I will refer to it from this point on, the Next Gen Faith Campaign.
The Next Gen to me just means an opportunity for us as ACAC to impact more people and to be more efficient in the way we do that.
When I hear the words Next Gen, I get excited and I get nervous. The excitement comes from knowing that we are investing in kingdom work. But at the same time, I do get nervous because it's going to require a special sacrifice from me and my family.
When I think of Next Gen, about God reaching out into this community and beyond it in a way in which the neighbors experience love, family, friendship.
When I hear Next Gen, to me that means that we're going to reach more people for Christ, and especially for Care Connections, we're going to reach families as a whole.
Most of what I think about with Next Gen is my kids that I serve and be a part of forming their future years of ministry and of service.
Since 2004, ACAC has utilized space for our children's ministry here across the street in what was once known as the IBM building. Today, this building is managed by the Allegheny Health Network, who has informed us that they have other plans for this space. That means that it's time for ACAC to bring our children back across the street, or as some people are referring to it, bringing our kids back home.
Bringing the children back across the street is our opportunity for us to be the family God wants us to be when we're coming for times of worship.
Means bringing them into a safe family environment where they can see others following Jesus and want to be like that.
When I think of the children coming back home, I think of just one place for our whole family to be. I know right now for families to drop a little one off, to drop a high schooler off, to drop your 12-year-old off, you have to go to so many different places. And this way, you have one stop and everybody's in the same building. I think it's going to be awesome when kids are running around and people see the kids. A lot of times they don't even see the kids anymore, and we'll all be together.
I think now is the right time to bring our children back home to this side of our campus. I've been treasurer here for 18 years, and about 15 years ago we had the opportunity in the space of 4 months to buy the Union Place building and take on the lease that we now have at 4 Allegheny Center. At the time, we could not have built the building in addition to purchasing one all at the same time. And so with the great rental rate and the great cost of building out, it was the right decision at the time. Now, knowing that the landlord has other use for the space, this is a great time to build it, because if I looked at it and we did this and stayed there 15 more years, we would have it paid off and we would own it.
Making room to bring our children across the street is one important reason the ACAC must embark on its first building project in 25 years into a building whose purpose is best described as the campus hub. The hub, which will be located not too far from where I'm seated right now in the parking lot, will not only be a building that houses ACAC's children's ministry, it will also serve as the living room for our whole church family. The new hub will be a place for food, fellowship, and connections that involve parents, children, youth, and single adults. It will be a place where the lives of our singles and our families intersect. A place that will make it easier for parents who now must walk to multiple buildings to drop off their children before they can attend a Sunday service.
So when I think of the hub, I think of all the different people already coming through our campus that sometimes don't connect. For example, the urban impact, all the different performing arts and education, athletics, don't necessarily connect to the larger family. And there's many more streams like that moving back and forth through that we want to impress with the love of Christ in the way we treat each other.
I think the hub connects. It connects everybody. It connects the youth to the kids, to an older generation, to the younger generation. I believe that it's a place that people can gather. They can be a family. It's kind of like your family room or your living room, and people are just sitting there and together as a family and not going into all these different places, and you can see people and you recognize who they are. And
like, I can envision to be a place where people can gather, a place where people feel valued, welcome, empowered, in a sense they can get development.
After examining multiple options, ACAC's leadership has decided that the hub concept is the one that resolves many of our pressing facility issues and achieves many important design objectives. These include providing a safe and simplified campus experience for every member and visitor who attends, regardless of their age. However, since ACAC is a church located in an expanding and vibrant urban area, construction will not be easy or inexpensive.
When I looked at the price tag and the estimates that came in, we looked at a number of factors like how much this was per square foot, what we were getting. The price tag definitely looks reasonable. It looks like a doable project, and operating within the constraints of our urban environment and wanting to connect the buildings, I think it's going to be a very good use of our funds.
Building a campus hub here on this space is rather complex because we have neighbors, all of whom have a stake in what goes on in an urban environment. Building a campus hub is complex because we have to squeeze that building in our little space on a 2-acre campus. We don't have a big field to put it in, and so that building's going to touch 4 other buildings on our campus. And all of that has to be engineered and aligned to make that happen right and to make it happen well.
Since NextGen is not only about new facilities, part of the $10 million NextGen Faith Campaign goal will be dedicated to church planning and improved worldwide communications.
I think church planning is really important because it changes the neighborhood. So Northside was not like this 20 years ago, and now it is just a light on the corner.
We are taking what God has blessed us with and we're sharing it outside of this north side. I think that is significant. I think that's what God calls us to do. Take the gifts and the talents that He blesses us with, and we begin to share that with other communities.
The reason God wants to plant churches is because of the peculiar DNA of ACAC. That is a loving, diverse manifestation of His kingdom. He wants to spread that elsewhere.
Our congregation recently voted and approved borrowing up to 50% of the construction costs of the hub, but our goal is not to have to borrow a dime. Now, this is where you and I come in. On June 2nd and 3rd, we will be asked to make a faith commitment toward the $10 million faith campaign. We will be asked to determine what we can give over the next 3 years toward this financial need. We are trusting that after June 3rd, we will have to borrow very little, if anything at all.
So when I think of us participating financially to move the next generation forward, it's a little daunting with a family of 5, but just being able to see the impact that it's going to have on our church family and our community, we've really identified that it's something that we really want to see move forward and have our family be part of.
Well, as I approach our contribution towards the faith stretch, that's exactly how we approach it. Can't be comfortable with what God is speaking initially. That means He's really stretching us. And so I approach it with obedience to what the Lord is leading, knowing that it comes with great sacrifice.
When I think about June and our decision, I think of an opportunity to recreate family in a new and amazing way, beyond anything we've ever imagined.
In the month of March, our staff and leadership made their faith pledges and together committed almost 20% of the $10 million goal. What a blessing. That means there is $8 million left to fund. You may be asking what you can do towards such a large amount, and the answer is quite simple. You do what you can with what God gives you.
With regards to leadership, the most important thing they're doing is trying to find out the will of the Lord and then to support that, and then the cash follows.
When I hear what the leaders have invested, it does challenge me. It challenged me to follow their lead because they are leaders, and it lets me know that based off of the intimate knowledge that they have, they trust God and trust this process. Therefore, it encourages me to trust God and trust the process.
As you pray and consider what to give, you first determine what you know you can give. That may mean eliminating a vacation or selling something of value. It may mean that you do without something and take the money and dedicate it to the Next Gen campaign. Then after that, the next step will be to exercise your faith and commit to give resources, the source of which you may not be able to see today.
Last year, we were challenged in ministry team to determine how much we might be able to give toward the Next Gen campaign. And I was not in a good state to make that kind of decision. My husband passed away in December, and this was probably February. But I really felt the Spirit leading me to make a commitment for $10,000. And I was hoping that that money would come from a small business that my husband had owned and operated and kind of left to me. As the year went on, I didn't think the business was going to make it. And over the months, I felt like, oh, I made a mistake, maybe that wasn't God, or maybe it was God and I just needed to step out in faith. But by the end of the year, I knew that the business was going to make that money for me, and I am happy to say that I can honor that commitment and hopefully go above what I originally planned.
To help prepare for June 2nd and 3rd, our leadership is hosting a few family gatherings where you can ask questions, pray for the faith campaign, and consider what you can give personally, as our staff and leaders have already done. Then on June 2nd and 3rd, we will come forward here in the sanctuary and make our commitments. I have personally been involved in a few projects like Next Gen, and I have always felt privileged that God would select and use me for such a time as this. If I can help you as you seek the Lord for what you can give towards Next Gen Faith Campaign, please let me know. I know that together we will do something that will impact our city, the North Side, and God's kingdom for many years to come, should the Lord tarry. Thank you for your commitment to make a difference through this opportunity God has given us, and may you and your family savor this moment as we make history in our faith walk with the Lord as the people of God at ACAC. Thank you, and God bless you.